The Mississippi Museum of Art is much more than a place where we display art. It's a place where we aim to make connections between people with each other and with art. It's a place where we hope that people find new meaning about their lives and about the things that are going on in the world around them.
We believe that art has the power to broaden and deepen people's perspectives. And so after you hear commonalities with your colleagues, and then you go and look at a piece of artwork together, your worldview or the way you think continues to expand because you're listening to one person say, oh, I see this, and you see this, and they'll say, oh, now you know what? I see what your point is. I can see that now. And you all are sharing this common experience using all of your skills, using your listening skills, your observation skills.
The art and storytelling program, it's hard for me to even call it a diversity and inclusion program. I guess, you know, okay, yes it is. I want to be honest, you know, let's be honest about that. It is looking at that issue, but really it's about me being able to listen to other people closely and acknowledging the fact that not everybody has the same experience that I've had in my life, that they don't see the world necessarily through, in fact, they do not see it through my eyes. And the more I can do that, how that translates back to the workplace is that I think it makes me a better listener and a better viewer of ideas, talent around me. It opens my eyes and ears.
What we have found is that when you're looking at an artwork together and you start responding based on your personal experience, you kind of jump into storytelling mode. And what happens is you tell a story about yourself, someone else listens to that, they tell a story about themselves that connects to your story. And what you find is that you have so much more in common than you thought, but it's all personal, it's from real life, and it is kind of intimate in a way that has a deeper impact on what you think and feel about other people than an academic workshop might have. It builds this kind of community of care. It's really interesting and really powerful to watch.
Those conversations are always really rich because people really don't talk about themselves in that way in a corporate environment. Usually it's about, you know, getting their job done, checking their check boxes off the list, you know, finishing their project. It's not saying like, hey, tell me about the place where you grew up.
What we're hearing from people who have experienced these workshops is that they kind of forget they're in a workshop. They are just in an art museum having conversations and telling each other stories. And what happens is they end up learning about each other, they end up caring about each other, and they're really excited about the opportunity to be human beings in relationship with each other in a way that isn't always possible when you're so task-driven in your office.
I attended several programs over the years, and I found them to be, I don't know, they were more informational than anything. They would present statistics as a rationale for why you need to hire certain people or putting people on teams. They just were not personally that compelling to me.
You're not in a lecture style environment. You know, you don't have to have a pen and paper. We're not taking notes. You're not expected to, there's not a test. I always say there's not a test after this. You're not gonna pass or fail. Just be fully present, put your phones on mute, and we're gonna have a good time.
My role as a participant in this program at that point is to hear you and let that sink in. And so what if it's different than what I see? Who cares? This is the point of the program. That you walk away and you go back to your workplace and say, am I really hearing things as fully as I need to in the workplace? Do I see things in the workplace as clearly as I could see? Do I include certain people that I seek opinions from, that I have lunch with? Am I really getting the most out of the work experience day to day that I possibly can? Or am I letting some maybe unconscious barriers that I have about who I include in my conversations, who I seek opinions from, ideas from, am I letting those barriers get in the way of getting the best performance in the workplace?
If a client or a potential client is feeling nervous or reluctant about approaching this issue or bringing this issue up because it might create moments of fissure in their staff, I would reassure them that storytelling is actually the antidote to that.
Funders like the Ford Foundation and the Mellon Foundation and the Kellogg Foundation really have put support behind CAPE and the work that CAPE is doing and codifying that work so that it can be instructive.
I'd say this, you know, if you think the people in your organization know each other as well as they think they do, think again. And this is an unusual program, to say the least, because its methodology is one I've never seen. It's fun, it's interesting. It's not going to make anybody feel bad about themselves. That's not the point. And this is an issue across organizations. The more I talk to my former colleagues in corporations, they are looking for ways to help people understand each other more, work together more smoothly. And this program does it in a way that's deceptively simple and in a way that's not in your face about diversity or inclusion, and yet it gets to those points.
Authentic relationships require time, and there's a value to that deepened, authentic relationship with your coworkers that I think employers are beginning to realize that if their staff collaborate and like each other more, they're probably going to work better together and do things more efficiently and quickly, which then translates into their bottom line. The requirement that you be fully present during the workshop allows people to kind of rest and contemplate. And the experience with art is also meant as a contemplative moment, is meant as a mini retreat from your everyday experience. It makes people feel instantly comfortable. You break down barriers, some of those defensiveness that people are like, oh no, not another, DIA equity workshop that's gonna make me have to think and reflect and do some internal, oh, woe is me. No, this is like, no, you get to learn about your colleagues in a comfortable, pretty, simple environment. And this is a skill that you already know how to do.
One of the things that makes people happy in a work environment is trusting the people they work with. And I think you build that trust through deepening relationships with really honest conversation. Those are the kinds of conversations that we think happen in this art and storytelling project.